Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. My name is Elise and this is where I share all about my life living in Switzerland. Today I wanted to build off of my last upload, which was talking all about what to expect when you move abroad. And if you can probably tell by the title, this is all about studying abroad. So if you don't know me and my story, I did a gap year when I was 17 here to Switzerland, and then I studied abroad again to Ireland when I was in college. So the two kind of ways that I got to study abroad were very different, and the setup and the things that I had to do to make those happen were very different. So I just wanted to share from both of those experiences some of the things that I learned. And you may be thinking, oh my gosh, it's a pandemic, there's like no way to travel, so why would I even bother with this? But really now is the time to start your research. In both of my experience, it took at least 6 months to get applications going and research visas and figure out what I wanted to do and where I wanted to be, where I was even eligible to go. It takes a lot of organization and time, and honestly now is the best time to do it because you're probably already at home, you may have a bit more disposable time, and then you can go on the adventure of a lifetime once all of this is cleared up. In a lot of places as well, your visa clock doesn't start until you set foot in the country, so you really are a bit more flexible to wait for things to be safe, and then you can go and start the experience of a lifetime without any worries or concerns. So first up, I'm going to talk about my experience studying abroad in high school. If you are here because you are in your university days already, or looking at higher education or your grad studies, skip to this time and I will start talking about it then. But for all you high schoolers out there, studying abroad is a fantastic opportunity, especially if you're on the younger side and you're not quite sure what you want to do for university yet and the whole idea of it is overwhelming you. Taking a gap year was the best thing I ever did. Now, I know it's not for everyone. I know that a lot of families may be hesitant to support that, or you yourself may not feel mature or ready enough to make that decision, and that's fine. You still have so much time to experience it, but if you do feel a calling towards this, there are some things that you can do. There are many programs that help young people travel abroad for many different lengths of time. My program was for a year, but there are shorter ones as well. So I traveled with Rotary International, and there was a chapter in the town next to mine, and they didn't have any applicants, and they also didn't accept people that had already graduated from high school. But I took a chance and I wrote a letter and they accepted my application, which was great. And then I went through the interview process as normal. And through that program, I met all of the inbound students that were through Rotary in our district, and then all the people from all the different surrounding towns. Some towns sent 10 students, some towns sent 1. It was all kind of different and depended on the interest. To be honest with you, there are a lot of towns that struggle to recruit students to do this. So even if you're in a position where you don't have a Rotary club in your town, you can look at the towns around you and pursue that. Obviously, that's just speaking for my district in upstate New York. I do think that there are some districts in the world where it's very competitive and your parents have to be in the Rotary Club for X number of years. I don't know, they all kind of change the rules a little bit depending on what works best for their chapter. So definitely research that and, I don't know, be open to that. It can be a bit different. If you're not sure of a program like that in your town, look in your school if there is already an exchange student and what program they came with, and then you can potentially work backwards from there and try to apply from your end to go somewhere else. The great thing about traveling abroad when you're so young, so I'm talking 19 and under, with a organization like this, is that they have such great support systems. I actually got to live with 3 host families during my year here, and the ability to have that family-centric, you know, lifestyle, and that I had people that I could lean on, and when something wasn't working out with one of my host families, I had other host families to help support me and explain the cultural differences to me. As well, I got to go to the Rotary Club meetings once a month and connect with my local chapter, and they gave me a lot of guidance and connections, and it was a really, really great opportunity. They also have fantastic events where all the exchange students get together in whatever country you're in, which is usually organized by Rotex, which are the people that went on exchange and are now back home. I can't speak to other programs that are for high schoolers, But in my experience, Rotary was absolutely incredible. I think that it is important to remember that, you know, you probably do want to find a program that has really good support systems in place, and to be able to lean on your fellow exchange students and the clubs and the community around you when your family is so far away. So if you're looking to use your university experience to move abroad, there are so many resources out there. So many universities brag about their study abroad programs in the brochure, but what does that really mean? What can they really offer you? At my university, we did have a study abroad office, and they had connections with certain universities in different countries, but it was a bit limited. In the end, I decided that I wanted to go to Ireland, and they didn't have any connections there or any visa knowledge, so I really had to pursue the information myself. However, I leaned on the study abroad office because they helped me understand what was necessary for my internship to get credit, or what classes would be accepted for credit towards my final degree. Because studying abroad is great and everything, but you don't want to just lose a semester because you still have to pay the tuition. You want to make sure that you can get those points. I also got some credits by taking online classes from my university in Providence while I was in Ireland, because it didn't matter where I was taking the class. So because my study abroad office didn't have the resources that I was looking for, I did actually end up using a placement service in Ireland. I hired them. They got me 3 interviews, and they actually set me up with a host mom for my first 3 months because I was having a really hard time finding an apartment from across the world, and that was really helpful. It was really great. They did set up some events for us as well and helped me organize things once I got there, and there was a fee involved with that, but it just made it absolutely sure that I was going to get to Ireland. At first, I was pursuing an internship in London, but unfortunately the visas were really hard to come by, and I'd already interviewed and put in a lot of energy into finding a job there and couldn't get a visa. So I needed to kind of start over the process, and I was running out of time to get it organized. So the internship placement program really helped me with that, and looking back, I wish I started at the visa point and worked back to what internships would be accepted by my university, because finding an internship is a lot easier than you think, especially if it's for college credit when they don't really have to pay you anything or very much, and they just have to like help fill out reports. Going off of that as well, it's important to remember that some student visas, when you're there taking classes or on an internship, you're not able to work or make money. If you're studying abroad through university, you're probably already taking out some loans to pay for that education. And if those loans are covering your dorm room or your meal plan, it's okay to kind of stretch that loan to be a little bit bigger, ask for a little bit more to fund this experience abroad. I mean, you're probably already going into debt anyway. Why not get this unbelievable opportunity out of it? That may sound kind of weird or like unrealistic, but it's just all about the value to you, and you have to really consider that. And I think in the end, I mean, so many American students leave with debt that eventually you will work your way through paying off. And wouldn't you like to look back on your memories of the most incredible year in this beautiful place that you never dreamed of going to while you're doing that? It's great to use your university to study abroad as well, because oftentimes the universities that accept these foreign students will get them all together for lots of fun meetups and events, and they are always a blast, and it helps you meet lots of other people that are in a similar situation, which is great. Another option is to just consider applying regularly into the program. You can just send in your materials, send in your papers like any other local student, and see if you get in. A lot of times that's a lot easier to get a student visa that way, because you're just normally enrolled rather than enrolled as an international student. You're just any old student, and a lot of times those programs are a lot cheaper than programs in the States, so it kind of balances your cost of travel and moving and living expenses. It levels out in the end. I hope this information was helpful to you. If you're looking to study abroad, 100% do it. If you feel a calling towards that, you should pursue it. It's the best thing I ever did, and I will 100% vouch for it. I have a whole playlist of videos about my experiences moving abroad, and if you have any questions, please do leave them below. I'm always happy to help, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.